Right, we're on. Today we're going to talk about the right hand in the golf swing, how it thrusts through, how pressure point number 3 or the right index finger does its job. We're talking about that because it's important. We need to make sure we get good strike and good thrust through impact. We want to make sure the right index finger does what it's supposed to do. We don't want the right hand out riding the handle of the golf club. We don't want to get flippy. We want to make sure we understand how the right hand works. This is a little bit complicated, but then when you break it down at the end of the video, dead simple. A couple of videos back I did 5-part series on the pressure points of the golf swing, which is a little bit related into today. We're going to talk about what happens with pressure point number 3 in the golf swing, which is the index finger on the right hand. Pressure point number 1 was where the right hand touched the left, top of the thumb. Pressure point number 2 was the 3 fingers on the left hand, and pressure point number 3 is the index finger or the knuckle of the right hand, which applies the thrust into impact. We're going to focus on pressure point number 3 today and how that works, how we get that working for us. The right hand in the golf swing. This sounds a lot more complicated than it actually is. It's really quite simple. Watch this. Okay, for this drill you're going to need an alignment cane, you're going to need the golf club and probably a glove. So we have planes in the golf swing that we swing on. There's also a sweet spot plane. A plane is where 3 points meet. In this instant we've got sweet spot of the golf club, we've got the aft of the handle and back down the shaft. 1, 2, 3. 3 points meet, that creates a plane. I'm taking this golf club, I'm going to place the alignment cane on the sweet spot, which was known as a little bit closer to the heel, and then I'm going to run it from there right up the back of the shaft, so it's on the aft of the shaft there, and it's held in there by 1, 2, 3 fingers in the left hand, pressure point number 2. The left thumb is going to contact this cane, pressure point number 1, where the right hand touches the left, and then on the aft side, when I put my right hand on, the knuckle of the right hand is going to sit nicely on that cane there, and this is all on the aft of the golf club, and the back of the club coming into impact. And that's the sweet spot plane there. So I take my address position, let's go down the line for this, address position, 1, 2, 3 on the left hand, left thumb, right hand goes on, and the knuckle on the right finger, index finger, goes on the aft of the shaft. It goes on that white cane. Right there. Okay. Now I've got full control of the club head by using that right index finger. Okay. You'll feel when you get this correct that the points of contact with the aft of the club are 1, 2, 3, the left thumb, the right hand, palm of the right hand, which is on top of the left thumb, and the right index finger knuckle. Now on the left hand, these 2 fingers here, your middle finger and your 4th finger, they pull up because that forces the pressure point number 1, the right hand, down onto the left thumb. So there is a bit of pulling with these 2 fingers here to pull that pad down on top of the left thumb. Then you can see there clearly the knuckle on the right index finger is on the aft of the shaft. It's on that white cane in the back of the golf club, which is applying thrust through impact. The thrust through impact from the application of the right index finger or push point number 3 is where many people go wrong. If you get on top of the shaft or underneath the shaft there, you'll flip or hold the club face open. So there I am, perfect address position, face on, good. Pressure points are all in place, everything on the aft of the shaft should be there. If my right hand gets too high or over the top there, the knuckle, pressure point number 3, outrides it. Pressure point number 3 comes too far on top. What's going to happen there? When I come down, it wants to go in the aft of the shaft, so it leaves the face open. If I take my right hand grip too strong, so my right hand grip is round here, too strong, then there, pressure point number 3, or the knuckle on the right hand is underneath instead of on the aft. It's underneath, so what's going to happen there at impact? When I come in, it wants to go back to where it should be. Club face closes over. First fault was hand too far over, so knuckle on top. Then impact, it wants to go to the aft of the club, face open. Hand underneath, right index finger underneath that white cane or underneath the golf shaft. Wants to come back to the aft of the club, club face closed. So we have to start off with that right index finger, pressure point number 3 on the aft of the club shaft, on this white cane that I have running up the side of the shaft, marrying up with left thumb and 1, 2, 3 pinky, forefinger, middle finger, left hand. Pressure point number 2, pressure point number 1, pressure point number 3. And that's how we can control sweet spot. We don't want this finger, because it's applying force, it's not going to flip out and it's not going to let the club head outride the handle. That's not going to happen because it's applying force to its intended target. It's not hitting that golf ball, we're applying the force in the index finger, pressure point number 3, towards intended target, to a 2-arm straight position. And you can see there how strong a position that's going to be compared to letting pressure point number 3 outride pressure point number 1 and number 2. That's not good. That's good. When we get this correct, change clubs, when we get this correct, you will see clearly that this motion, and this motion through impact disappears because we've applied the thrust down the index finger of the right hand to 2 arms straight. There. When I'm gripping this club now, I can feel, because I've held that cane for so long, I can feel where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of contact would be on that cane. I can feel that actually now. It's incredible. This is just from being in that position for so long with my hands. So let me step up. So as I say, this picking action disappears because we're now thrusting. We're now thrusting through with pressure point number 3 towards intended target. We're not hitting at ball. We're applying that thrust through with pressure point number 3 of the right hand. But that can only happen. That can only happen from a decent right hand grip at address. It has to be, the index finger has to be aft of that shaft at address. If it's underneath or on top of, then at impact it wants to get back to where it should be. Let's just put it in the right place at start. Makes life much easier. So having said all that, take address position, get grip, be aware of where they are, visualise the line down the side of your grip, which is part of the sweet spot plane, or the aft side of the sweet spot plane. There we go, good. And then from there, thrusting through to impact. To target, sorry, not to impact, but to target, thrusting through impact towards your intended target. Impact will look like this from face on to there. Now there's nothing happened here. There's nothing happened there. There's nothing happened there. There's nothing happened there. Address ball, I'm aware pressure point number 2 is on the aft. Pressure point number 1, where the right hand would touch the left thumb, is on the aft. Pressure point number 3, the all important right index finger, is on the aft. And then from there, pressure point number 3 through towards intended target with thrust. Got 6 iron in hand. Again, pressure point number 3 towards intended target, right through towards intended target. So the picking action is gone, the flicking action is gone, the face is square at impact, it's not closed because the hand's in a good position, it's not open because the right hand's in a good position. I've sorted lots of things just by understanding where pressure point number 3 or the right index finger needs to be at address and through impact. At address and through impact. If we start it there, we can return it to there and through impact. If we start in a different position, it won't go back to that position at impact. If it does, the face is open or closed. Problems. After the club, using the alignment cane, running up the aft of the shaft, those 3 fingers are on it, left thumb's on it, okay, right index finger's on it, it's not under it, it's not over it, it's bang on it, there we go. That thrust there can be applied through impact, that pressure there through impact towards your intended target is going to result in that club face being perfectly square through impact, sustaining line of compression for longer, just like Eureka, to a perfect position. Taking away the pick, the flick, the L extension, not necessarily L extension, but the rising of the handle. There, good, all in line. Through to intended target. Let's give this one a go. Guys, there we go, hope that helped. I'll leave links below to the 5-part series which lets you investigate a little bit more into pressure points and power accumulators in the golf swing. But breaking that down really simply, the right hand needs to be in a good position at address to return back to that position of impact. Get that knuckle, that index finger, right index finger if you're a right-handed golfer, on the aft of the shaft at address and return back to that position through impact. By a little bit understanding of how that controls sweet spot, we're good to go. If you've subscribed to the channel, thank you very much. If you've not subscribed to the channel, just do it right now. Thumbs up button, always good, helps the algorithm. YouTube, that helps me massively. Also comments, please leave a comment below and it's much appreciated. Cheers.